Yes, a very good morning to you, Grenada, and the rest of the world, and happy New Year to you. Day 2 of 2019, yes sirree. Made it through it 2018, and I trust that many of you, like me, are looking forward to great things in the new year. And boy, let's do it together, right? As a team, we're going to work together to make this beautiful little paradise of ours an even better place. Good morning, folks. I'm George Grant, and we're glad that you're able to spend some time with us this morning. Should be here for the next hour or so. As always, we try to put together a really neat little package for you. And here goes. Let's start by taking a look at the rundown. The first thing we're going to do, actually, is take a look at Guyana. The Guyanese government is trying really hard to hold on to the reins of power. Yes, sirree. That's where we're going to get started this morning. Have a little story which I got over the past couple of days I'm going to share with you. Now, because we did not have a program yesterday, we were unable to bring you the Prime Minister of Grenada's New Year's message. So we're going to run that by you this morning in place of the GIS report. GIS seems to be making full use of the holidays, man. We haven't seen or heard from them lately, but that's understandable. So you'll hear the PM's message to the nation in just a wee bit. And then, how did you spend your New Year's Eve? A lot of people were looking skyward, yes sirree, and I managed to get some video of what we were able to see from Willets Road here in St. George. Fireworks galore, fireworks galore. Who says there ain't money in this country? Every time you see those streets go up into the air, moolah, dollars burning up. Well, I'll tell you, it was a pretty good display. And we're going to run that for you at the end of the program. In addition, just before that, she is back. And as I speak to you, I'm taking a look off to my right, and she is there already, a good friend, Sherron Roberts, talking to us this morning again about Petite Martinique. We've decided we want Petite Martinique to be front row center in our productions, and she has kindly consented. And those of you who were with us last week, you know that she did a phenomenal job. And just based on the comments I saw on Facebook, yeah man, we're going to try and keep her roped in for as long as we can. Sherron Roberts. So she's going to join us a little, maybe around the bottom of the hour or so. But first, government in Guyana says it is awaiting the ruling of Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, on the consequences of the no confidence motion against the administration, which took place at the end of last year. That ruling is expected on Thursday of this week. That's tomorrow. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams said this week that if the Speaker finds that an error has been made, he has the power to revisit any decision as he sees fit. Opposition leader Bharat Jagdeo is adamant that the motion which he moved was lawfully passed, and under the Constitution, the government should resign and elections called within 90 days of the passing of that motion. On December 21st, 33 MPs in the 65-seat National Assembly, including government backbencher gentleman by the name of Shandaras Prasad, voted in favor of the motion. But Mr. Williams said that the government's position has always been that the motion was not validly carried since the opposition needed 34 instead of 33 votes for an absolute majority. He said that Parliament is actually supreme in its own arena. So, they are responsible for their internal rules and procedures. There are rules that can be changed by amending certain standing orders. And once the vote is carried, then that's it. According to the Attorney General, the government has also decided on presenting the House Speaker with a legal memorandum where he will be provided with all available options regarding the no confidence motion. He said the Speaker can invite a similar document from the parliamentary opposition, after which he can make his ruling. Vice President and Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan also said there are precedents the government intends to build its argument on in challenging the motion. He acknowledged that immediately after the motion was passed, there were statements by President David Granger and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu accepting the outcome of the motion. However, he said that that was based on what the government felt at the time, and now that it believes a mistake was made, the situation must be remedied. Ramjatan also sought to explain why the government believes a majority of 34 was needed to pass the motion when 33 has been accepted as a majority since 2011. He said that there is a distinction because there's an article in their constitution which says that bills and motions can be passed, save and except otherwise provided, by a simple majority of those present and voting. A confidence or no confidence motion is a different motion, above all else, as the Constitution made mention. Minister Ramjatan further contended that since half of 65 is 32.5, which is then rounded to 33, then 33 and 1/2 is a majority, and that has to be rounded up to 34. He then added that it is important that people just do not follow through as what is regarded as simplicity. The law is the law. Meantime, Williams also put to rest calls in some quarters for the administration to resign. The Attorney General said that even if you say that the no confidence motion was validly passed under Article 106.6 of the Constitution, the fact is, Article 106.7 says that, notwithstanding such defeat, the government shall remain in office and shall hold an election within 3 months. Yeah. So, folks, according to the old saying, the fat lady sings, well, she ain't sing yet in Guyana. Looks like this issue is going to drag on for a little while. So that takes care of Guyana as we get rolling. Our first program for the year, Gudday Grenada. Right now, I'd like to turn to our own Prime Minister, Prime Minister Keith Mitchell. And here is the address he had for us, the Grenadian people, for the new year.
Fellow Grenadians, sisters and brothers all, a new year is upon us. First, let me say Happy New Year to all Grenadians, Cariconians and Petite Martinicans. Whether you are here at home or in the diaspora, I wish nothing but the best for each and every one of you. And as Prime Minister of this blessed nation of ours, I take this opportunity to reaffirm my commitment and that of my cabinet to do all we can to facilitate further levels of growth and development that brings benefit to all, particularly those who are most vulnerable. Sisters and brothers, like the dawn of every day, the start of a new year provides an opportunity to start afresh or to improve on what we already have been doing. 2018 has been an exceptionally good year on the economic front for us here in Grenada. The local economy continues to grow steadily. In fact, Grenada's economy is widely recognized as the fastest growing in the region, with average growth recorded at 5% annually since 2013. Increased economic activity, particularly in construction and tourism sectors in 2018, meant more jobs for more people. A further reduction in the unemployment rate, an increase in family incomes. I am sure you would agree that we are indeed on a good wicket, and we must sustain that. It is heartening to witness the hundreds of young people en route each working day to jobs in the construction sites, hotels and hospitality centers, and scores of self-employed entrepreneurs engage in positive economic activity. Our country is indeed abuzz. Sisters and brothers, although important, economic growth is not the sole measure by which we determine the progress of our nation. Government is committed to widening the array of social programs through which fellow Grenadians, sisters and brothers all, a new year is upon us. First, let me say Happy New Year to all Grenadians, Cariconians and Petite Martinicans. Whether you are here at home or in the diaspora, I wish nothing but the best for each and every one of you. And as Prime Minister of this blessed nation of ours, I take this opportunity to reaffirm my commitment and that of my cabinet to do all we can to facilitate further levels of growth and development that brings benefit to all, particularly those who are most vulnerable. Sisters and brothers, like the dawn of every day, the start of a new year provides an opportunity to start afresh or to improve on what we already have been doing. 2018 has been an exceptionally good year on the economic front for us here in Grenada. The local economy continues to grow steadily. In fact, Grenada's economy is widely recognized as the fastest growing in the region, with average growth recorded at 5% annually since 2013. Increased economic activity, particularly in construction and tourism sectors in 2018, meant more jobs for more people. A further reduction in the unemployment rate, an increase in family incomes. I am sure you would agree that we are indeed on a good wicket, and we must sustain that. It is heartening to witness the hundreds of young people en route each working day to jobs in the construction sites, hotels and hospitality centers, and scores of self-employed entrepreneurs engage in positive economic activity. Our country is indeed abuzz. Sisters and brothers, although important, economic growth is not the sole measure by which we determine the progress of our nation. Government is committed to widening the array of social programs through which we are able to make a difference in the lives of thousands of persons, both young and old. Our youth, hundreds more, are benefiting from the Mani program. And we also launch initiatives such as the Empower, which is specifically targeted to make a difference in the lives of hundreds of our young men. For the elderly, we have increased the monthly seed payment, and we hope to increase this even further in the very near future. As we welcome the new year, it is with great anticipation for what's to come. Undoubtedly, there are many opportunities ahead. The construction sector grew by 40% in 2018 and in 2019, and that trend is expected to continue. And the 2019 budget, you would have heard about the many projects set to come on stream. While there are few significant public sector projects, there is an enormous number of private sector projects scheduled to get underway. That's in addition to the many which started in 2018. Here again, sisters and brothers, we can say we are on a good wicket and we must continue to bat wisely. This unparalleled level of economic investment by the private sector reveals a very high and increasing level of investor confidence in the local economy and its management, which augurs well for the future development of our country. Government by itself cannot foster sustainable development. It requires a solid partnership with the private sector and workers. Underpinning all of this is the indispensable need for industrial stability. The roles of government and private sector are separate but complementary, as together they provide a tried and tested formula for a country's advancement. Government creates the enabling environment, but the real growth must be propelled by activity in the private sector, which can only strive in the context of industrial stability. By and large, in the private sector, there was industrial stability with many companies and trade unions signing collective agreements what were reached in an amicable manner. In 2019, we expect the atmosphere of partnership and cooperation to continue, leading to even greater economic activity. Sisters and brothers, we do not live in a perfect world. Even the most positive situation would always coexist with some challenges. With that said, in the most recent round of negotiations, talks between the Pension Engagement Committee and the unions and staff associations became deadlocked on the issue of prepayment of pensions, which is commonly referred to as gratuity. To be clear, there was mutual agreement on the elements outlined in February 18, 2018. A memorandum of understanding signed between the Pension Engagement Committee and the unions and staff associations. That MOU effectively restored and established pensions for all eligible officers appointed from and including April 4th, 1983. My fellow Grenadians, government has met in full its obligation under the MOU, and in accordance with the order of the High Court in the Hamlin-Armstrong case, we have restored fully, including retroactive payments, the pensions of some 56 workers who came into the public service between April 4th, 1983 and February 22nd, 1985. This amounted to a total of $7.7 million for all 56 workers. We are now, therefore, at the point of pension reform, and to facilitate that, We are in negotiation with the unions and staff associations. Government therefore stands resolutely committed to affording public service retirees a better quality of life. But we must balance that commitment with the responsibility to protect the interests of the wider population by ensuring decisions made do not negatively impact the prospects for future development of this beautiful land. We must be fiscally prudent in all our decisions. If we are not, we'll put at risk the very security of employment and pension payments of the same public officers we sought out to help. During the process of collective bargaining, parties may disagree but should not necessarily become antagonistic. Regrettably, for our country, the recent negotiations deteriorated to the point of industrial action, with workers withholding their labor. As a consequence, government as employer rightfully paid wages and salaries for work done. This is a well-established and accepted industrial relations practice worldwide, but it also speaks to a fundamental principle that is applicable to all spheres of life and to all occupations. It is contrary to moral principles for anyone to expect payment for work that has not been done. Sisters and brothers, the decision to withhold wages and salaries brought this administration and myself no joy, and it was not made lightly, particularly in light of the timing of it, being so close to the Christmas festive season. I know many people feel aggrieved, and I personally empathize with those affected. But I cannot, in good conscience, go against the fundamental moral principles that I hold dear to my heart. I consider myself a teacher first and foremost, and I feel a deep affinity for those in the profession. Therefore, I sincerely hope that there is no permanent animosity because of a moral decision I felt compelled to make. I affirm here that government is keen to bring a speedy and lasting resolution to the pension negotiations. I make a special appeal to the union leaders to recognize, as I've said in my budget presentation, that, and I quote, government must apply the principles of universal social conscience and social justice for all, unquote. Dear citizens, Grenadians, Caracunians, and Petite Martinicans, all. Any objective review of improvements in pay and benefits to public officers since 2013 will reveal the extensive payments made by government. I appeal to my trade union friends to work with us to achieve a realistic, fair, affordable, and sustainable resolution to this pension issue. The workers and people of Grenada deserve this. Sisters and brothers, now that the festivity of Christmas season has passed, and as we look forward in anticipation of a new year, let us go forth together to build our nation, recognizing that whatever we do today will leave a lasting footprint on the future. 2019 has opened up the door to endless possibilities. Let us make our collective legacy one we can be proud of as a people. Once again, I extend my continued best wishes for a happy and prosperous new year. May God bless each and every one of you, and may He continue to hold our dear nation in His bosom and in His favor. Thank you.
There you have it. Prime Minister Mitchell, as he addressed the nation to begin the brand new year, 2019. Folks, let me apologize. I noticed we had a very brief outage there for a minute. My iPad crashed, but looks like we're back on track now. Coming up next, we're going to be talking with the lady Sherron Roberts, who's out there somewhere in St. Paul's, I think. And just before I get to that, let me say good morning to the folks there on Facebook. Happy New Year to you too, Margaret. Certainly, boy, I would imagine you had a hoot over the past few hours. I certainly hope you had a great New Year's Day. And the same to Veronica Sandy. Veronica's saying good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year, and she's sending her blessings. Oh, by the way, Margaret also says, she's referring to the address we just heard. Margaret says, when I hear people like KCM speak, I have to believe that God not only exists, but that unlike us human beings, he or she is merciful. Okay, Max. Okay. Wayne Joseph Watts now joins us, and he says, when it works for you, you can go against it. All right, folks. Let me take a first little break here, and I'm anxious to get to this lady, Sherron Roberts. Hang in there.
Hubbard's, bringing you Frigidaire Christmas cheer. With the purchase of any Frigidaire fridge, freezer, stove, washer, or air conditioning unit, you get a free 3-piece Frigidaire non-stick pot set. Come into our appliance department on the Carronage and Building Supplies Grandance to get your trusted Frigidaire products and enhance your cooking this Christmas. Offer available while stocks last. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Why wish upon a star? For a bank is better by far. Whatever you're wishing for this Christmas, will give you no interest and no fuss.
Co-op Bank is making Christmas wishes come true. Fix up your home, treat your loved ones, and get everything on your Christmas list this year with our no-fuss loans. As we count down the 12 days to Christmas, you can win awesome prizes every day. Special terms and conditions apply.
Christmas wishes come true with Co-op Bank and you.
Welcome home.
Together with you, our customers, we energize our community.
Together with you, we energize our economy.
We are working together to give our nation a better tomorrow.
With you, we energize our future. Together, we energize our nation.
Thank you for partnering with us as we energize our Speyside.
Redleg, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Alrighty, folks, it's now 9:30 on the button, and it's a Wednesday morning. So let's say good morning to our pilgrim out there in St. Paul's. Am I right? Is that where you are, Sherron?
Oh yes, for the rest of the day I'm in St. Paul. And tomorrow will be some part of Florida.
Ah, okay. But you're going to keep in touch with us even though you're on the road.
Oh yes, I'm walking my laptop, so.
How was your holiday, my dear?
It was good. The new year was interesting. For the first time I was out on various nights. And I think I saw the fireworks and so on.
So what was your vantage point? We were on Woolwich Road near to the roundabout going into the villa.
I was at the only for, I must say, older folks there. It seems I just young people. They were all around my age group over. So, yeah, it was interesting. We had dinner and there was a lot of band and the fireworks. It was very, very nice.
Okay.
We were able to see the fireworks from I guess it was France, from Louis, and somewhere beyond, I don't know if it was at Rex,
Okay.
but the carnage was very impressive.
I know. You know, last year everybody spoke so highly about what took place down at the Carnage, and I was told that this year would be even better. I think it was maybe just as good. But did you notice that as soon as the fireworks ended, down came the showers?
Yes.
Same thing happened last year. Actually, last year I think it started during the fireworks display. By the way, I see a little note here on Facebook. Margaret says Sherron has a problem with her mic. There's a short somewhere. The audio is not. Veronica, I'm hearing you fine, Sherron. I am hearing you just perfectly.
Okay. So maybe it's at the other end.
Yeah, it could be at the other end, but I'm hearing you fine. So. Now that New Year has come and gone, let's focus on Petite Martinique.
Right.
What can we expect, or what can the people of Petite Martinique expect in the New Year?
Well, nobody might say this. I always thought that Petite Martinique was part of Grenada. And I thought we were all Grenadians. I've never really heard until recently about this Carriacouans and Petite Martinicans. We are Grenadians. I grew up in Petite Martinique. I came to Grenada, which we referred to as the main island. So when you leave in Petite Martinique and you say going to Large Island, you meant you're going to the bigger of the three, which was Grenada. So we moved to Grenada when I was 10 years old. But my heart stayed in Petite Martinique. So we visited every year, sometimes twice a year. In the beginning, we couldn't get used to Christmas in Grenada, which was stay at home. Because in Petite Martinique, from around the end of November, we start serenading. And it still goes on in Petite Martinique. On Christmas Day, you can't find anybody really other than maybe the mother of the house at home. Because right after you have midnight mass or whenever you have mass, because Petite Martinique used to be 99.9% Catholic, the men and now some of the women play instruments and they go out and serenade from door to door. You do not pass any house. So once you go to that house, the household joins. So the group gets larger and larger. So coming to Grenada where you stayed at home, that was very depressing for most of us. So as soon as school closed, we pack up and head for Petite Martinique. And the same with the summer. The same thing with the summer holidays. We headed for Petite Martinique as soon as school closed. And now we do the same. At least once a year, we go to Petite Martinique. And as we were talking early in the last program, we talk about going to Petite Martinique for the Regatta Festival. Mm-hmm. Well, a little bird told me that the Maroon Festival will be early in May, so before I leave for the UK. So maybe we can look at that, going up for the Maroon Festival, which should be very nice.
Margaret, I hope you heard that. Maroon Festival is going to be in May. May. And Carla and everybody else.
Yes.
Tell me something. Supposedly Christmas is a family time. At least that's what we say down here. So the same thing up there in Petite Martinique, where, rather than all the partying that goes on down here, it's like a mini carnival, if you will. But is it the same thing in the PM?
In Petite Martinique, it's more like it is very family. But it's a lot about family. But remember, Petite Martinique is one big family. One of the things you don't worry about when you're there is wherever you are at lunchtime or food time, you don't have to worry. The first thing they do is they offer you food. When my children who live in Belize came to Petite Martinique for the first time, they thought that there was a Vitamalt or Caribbean factory on the island, because everywhere you go, that's the first thing. Have a drink, have something to eat.
Okay.
You're never hungry or thirsty. If you are, it's because you want to be.
Yeah.
And it's still very much about family. I think that there's normally like a white Christmas dance, which is held at the school. And other than that, everything happens at home, and you visit each other. You particularly visit the shut-ins, the sick, make sure everybody is okay. And
you mentioned the White Christmas dance, and I was going to ask you, when it comes to partying, you have about 700 people on the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When it comes to partying, I mean, how many people can you expect to see at a dance? You don't have the big dances where you have like 1,000 or so people down here, would you?
Everybody turns out. There's something happens at the court. We have a hard court, and they bring in sometimes people from as far as Jamaica.
Oh, really?
We have a lot, yes. Especially at the Regatta Festival, you always have an artist from Grenada, for example, and sometimes from further afield. There goes the fire engine.
Yeah. I hope it's not another one of those. Yeah. Okay, so you guys are into the importation of foreign artists as well, aren't you?
Yes, that's the fire engine heading up to St. David. I didn't hear what you just said.
I said, so you guys are into the importation of foreign artists up there like we are down here?
Yes. Not a lot of it, but for example, last year at the Maroon Festival, we had a surprise visit from Judy Boucher, and she's from St. Vincent.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of connection between St. Vincent and Petite Martinique.
Okay.
I think even going back originally, my grandparents, for example, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was from Bequia. So we have a lot of links with St. Vincent, Bequia, Myro, Canawan, settled in Petite Martinique and make it what it is.
Okay. Let me talk. Since I'm hungry right now, let me bring up food here for just a minute. When I was up there to do the program a few years ago, a lady by the name of, I think her name is Odinga Charles Blair or Blair Charles. You know her?
Odinga Blair Charles.
Blair
yes.
Charles. Oh boy, they prepared your traditional dish for me. You know what I'm talking about.
Which was that? The cuckoo and callaloo, and which is what we grew up on, and fish.
Fish, I imagine, is the primary food of there, eh?
That's right. We had fried fish and grilled fish and baked fish and fish in all forms. Corn fish, because there weren't many people that had freezers at the time. So one of the main things was corn fish, which is still one of my favorites. It's sort of like saltfish, but nicer. And I remember when we had chicken, it would be like maybe on confirmation day, something big happening, like we have some special visitors, then you would have chicken. Chicken was a very rare something. And once a year at Christmas time, somebody would be selling beef. So we would have beef soup. Petite Martinicans use a lot of barley. So one of the main things at a wedding, for example, is barley soup.
Barley soup?
Yes, so these days it would be mutton, barley, or beef and barley. And still here at home, that's a big thing for us. We do barley soup and the children love it.
Okay.
So,
I know that transportation has always been an issue for the people of Petite Martinique. You know, they complain about how difficult it is, not just to get down to Grenada, but even to Carriacou.
Yes.
Are you guys served by the Dolly Sea as well, or is it just the Osprey?
Well, you'll have to go to Carriacou for both of them. When Osprey started off, it apparently was mainly for Petite Martinique, to serve Petite Martinique. And it was good because twice a day you could leave Petite Martinique and come to Grenada. And now it's really a bone of contention because to go to Grenada these days, you have to go to Carriacou, take a taxi or a bus down to Harvey Vale, where the Osprey now leaves from Harvey Vale. So, and they leave from Harvey Vale and return to Harvey Vale. So people from Petite Martinique, it is very difficult for them to get transportation. And then to come to Grenada to do anything, you must overnight. The Dolly Sea leaves Carriacou, and yes, they come and go back up in the evening. But you still have to go from Petite Martinique, pay $20 for a boat to get to Carriacou, still pay taxi or bus to get to Harvey Vale. And it's very, very difficult for them. So I don't know if somebody can speak on the interests of Petite Martinique people and do something to help them out, because it's terrible.
I know that, and well, I guess this should have been expected, but just before the elections last year, we heard a lot of talk about Petite Martinique getting its own airport. Do you know if the people there were excited about that, or was this just campaign talk?
That is just a talk. There is nowhere in Petite Martinique you can put an airport.
Well, unless you build it in the sea.
There's no way you can do it. It was looked at before, and there's no way you could. If you tell me that you want to put a helicopter pad, that can go almost anywhere.
Yeah.
But there's no way to put a plane to land in Petite Martinique. Many years ago, when they used to have seaplanes, I don't know if you're old enough to remember when seaplanes would leave Grenada
yes,
at the Carnage.
Yeah.
And would land in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. But I don't even know if seaplanes exist anymore.
Yes, they do exist, and I was curious when I heard all the talk about this airport going into Petite Martinique, and I wondered whether or not the people up there were taking that seriously.
We have a place called the BASS, BASSE, and in 1999, I was in Petite Martinique, living there at the time. I was a coordinator for Petite Martinique Affairs, and at that time, Michael Caesar, who some people know, rest in peace, spoke about extending the playing field to the BASS so that planes could land. The water around there and the current and so would not allow that, and it would be too expensive to do anything like that. So anybody talking about putting a plane, a landing strip or something, so in Petite Martinique, just trying to fool the people. And some people would get excited about it because, yes, they would like to have ready facilities. But no, it's just a dream. It wouldn't happen.
Yeah, well, I certainly hope there weren't too many people holding their breath. Thanks a lot, Sherron. Good to hear from you as always this morning.
All right.
And I'm assuming that we are going to be up there for your May festival, your Maroon Festival in May.
Yes. Well, I would work towards going up there in May, early May. I'll give you the dates another time. I'll you know it's normally spearheaded by the same person we spoke about, Odinga.
Yeah.
So I will speak with her and find out once they're pinned down to a proper date. I'll let you know.
Thank you very much, my friend. Have a nice day.
You too. Blessings.
Okay. Sherron Roberts out there in St. Paul's talking with us about Petite, Martinique this morning. Folks, that's going to take our time now to 13 minutes away from the hour. And I did promise you that at the end of the program, which is just about now, we're going to show you some of the fireworks, which we talked about a little while ago. This is a pretty interesting display. We were on Woolwich Road, just a little bit down the street from here, right at the junction where Woolwich Road, there's a roundabout which goes into the villa, right there. So it was a sort of a bird's eye view. Let's take a little break, and then we will come on back and take a look at that footage. It's about 9 minutes or so long.
With free island-wide delivery, Hubbard's Building Supplies and Lumber Departments continue to provide the best quality lumber, steel, tiles, plumbing materials, electrical and general hardware supplies at competitive prices. We continually consult with builders, homeowners and contractors to improve product range and services. Enjoy discounts where applicable, including the use of credit and debit cards. At Hubbard's Building Supplies, Grandance and Lumber Department, Caranage, we offer quality service, affordable prices, giving you the convenient, reliable, free island-wide delivery. Call 440-2087 for all your home improvement and building solutions.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, neighbor.
Here's the bill I asked you to pay for me.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low?
For one, we size our transformers just for what we need. And we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LEDs.
They burn less energy, right?
Much less. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
And Grenlec is always advising us not to open the fridge too often.
That's right. And my family washes and irons in bulk.
With fuel prices changing all the time, how do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
So while Grenada can't control fuel prices, I can conserve energy and save money.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Okie doke, folks. It's that time now, 10 minutes away from the hour. I got together with a couple of friends who came in from Canada for the holidays. And it was a nice little get together. I'm going to share with you right now a few minutes of the fireworks display which we saw, and I hope you enjoy this. Here we go. Watch out. There we go. That's the Caranage you're looking at down there.
Oh my God! Sounds like gunshots.
The fireworks you're actually looking at were the ones sent up from right in front of the fire station. I think that's where they were based. And if you keep your eye to the left of the frame, you will see some smaller fireworks in just a couple of minutes. And those, I think, might have been coming from Sandals. See that red one down there? Bottom left of your screen? Yeah. And on occasion you might actually see some of the ones that went up from Port Louis. Yeah. There's Point Celine off in the distance down there. Gets better. Hold on a sec. Gets better. You know, fireworks these days seem to be getting shorter and shorter and shorter. I remember the days or the nights when I used to sit on New Year's Eve on the balcony there and watch fireworks that might last 20 minutes or so. But this one only lasted about 9.5 minutes, I think. Yep, there we go. Not bad. Not bad. Keep your eye on the screen. We'll see some more from... that was either the Rex or Sandals. I believe it might have been Sandals. Yep, there goes one. See it? Tiny little one out there. They're maybe about 3 miles or so away from us. Right at the extreme left of the screen, you probably saw something there. Well, that came from Grandad's Beach, and it could have been anything. It could have been I don't know if Silver Sands. There goes another one. Could have been Silver Sands. Could have been Radisson. Could have been Spice Island.
Happy New Year's, everyone!
Happy New Year! For those of you who are just joining us, we're looking at New Year's Eve fireworks. Actually, I think we need to say New Year's Day because that happens starting at about midnight. Yep, there's a big one from Sandals or the Rex. Get something as well from Port Louis at the extreme left of the frame you're looking at.
On the other side? There's like 5 or 6 of them. Yeah, there's
The ones you're seeing over here, that's Port Louis. Yeah, Sandals. Port Louis.
Ah, there's a Port Louis. See that? Top left? Yeah, there you go. Top left of the screen.
And look at that spice sitting down there, boy. That was pretty. That was purple one.
I want this one.
You want this at your wedding? Michael.
Who was that?
Michael, start saving, buddy.
down there are really pretty as well. It's the echo from the water that it's making. They do it in Asia.
That's it, folks. That's it. New Year's fireworks down on the Carnage. And Veronica Sandy says, beautiful fireworks. And let me tell you, Veronica, that was shot with my my smartphone. You know, no big fancy camera. That was just shot on a smartphone with this little tripod, if you will, sitting on the banister there. Hope you enjoy that, folks. And this is where we come to the end of today's program. I want to begin the new year with a little encouragement for you. Always try to leave you with something inspirational. And this morning is going to be absolutely no different. We have a short quotation here, just one verse, from the book of 1 Chronicles 28, verse 20, which says, "Be strong and courageous, and do it. Do not be afraid, and do not be dismayed. For the Lord God, even my God, is with you. He will not leave you or forsake you until all the work for the service of the house of the Lord is finished." Carry that close to your heart. 1 Chronicles 28, verse 20. And pilgrims, on that note, Georgie Porgy is going to say, hey, thank you for joining me for today's edition, our first edition of Gudday Grenada for the new year. May you be blessed. And let's all pledge to work together to uplift this beautiful little paradise with which we've been blessed. God bless you.